I'm Brenda.
And I'm Jed.
Together we are on a photographic adventure, exploring and celebrating nature while working from the road in our Sprinter van. We are having a blast meeting new people, teaching workshops, creating books, relaxing, and celebrating beauty all around us. Hi. So I'm here in Zion National Park, and I'm in a beautiful, beautiful wash. And the fall colors are just amazing. And I'm really looking forward to getting down in there and hiking the wash to see what I find. One of the things that I'm doing with these videos is taking you along with me on the journey. And we'll discuss photography, we'll look at beautiful scenery, and you'll perhaps get a little bit of a look behind the scenes in terms of what I'm looking for visually and how I find my compositions. So come along and I hope you enjoy. Well, on my way down into the wash with all this tantalizing orange and yellow and peach and brown colors, I found this beautiful plant surrounded by bright blue juniper berries. And we're getting some great bounce light, so I'm going to attempt a composition of this. So you can see the tripod position, and it's pretty narrow because in order to get the height, I had to push my legs together just a little bit more so that I could get above it and shoot down into the yucca. And I had to sweep out a few footprints that were pretty obvious. And then as I got up and got really set up, I was looking, and this area right down here was a little void of juniper berries. And so I did a little hunting and gathering and threw a bunch in the air to just fill in that otherwise bare dirt corner that I would have. So the end result of this is a composition that looks similar to this. And now, once again, I'm going to attempt to get down into this beautiful wash and see what the color is all about. You know, Jed and I have been through these washes many times, and every year that we come, it's different. Different colors, different conditions, and we always find something new, something different to photograph. So it's really exciting to be able to do this. We feel very fortunate that we got here. Whoops, sorry about that, folks. At a time when the leaves were just changing nicely. Wow, that's pretty cool just right there. And Jed is already at work off in that corner. And I'm going to head up this way to see what some of the color looked like up here. Although that's looking like it could be in sun pretty soon, so I may have to rethink that. When there's no cars, it's so quiet in here. It's wonderful. Even the birds are quiet right now. Not that there's a whole lot, but we've seen some juncos and some others that are passing through. And it's just beautiful. Very, very peaceful.
The light is going completely flat.
I know. And when the light flattens out like this, you can see we've got a lot of clouds. And the clouds are over the sun up there. Darn it. If the sun was out, it would be lighting up this wall of rock and bouncing down into the canyon. And that's what we came here for. So now we're looking for intimate scenes, scenes that work without the bounce light, and hopefully we'll find some as we continue down this wash. You ready, Jed?
Yep.
All right, let's walk. There's some really beautiful things here, just studies. It may not be to everyone's taste, but when you love geology and you love processes that happen in nature, you can't help but marvel at all of the things going on in a wash like this. Folds and ripples, curving lines, ledges. It's really pretty cool. I think I might have already lost Jed. Oh, he's there. Did you find something?
Right here.
Talk to me about it.
Well, it's an incredible blend of lines coming in diagonally that then run into different colored ones that are going along horizontally.
Very cool.
So I'm going to see what I find.
Wow. Look at this. Now this is very amazing. It's not easy to photograph. I find myself getting in close on a lot of things, and sometimes I get too close and I lose the story. But because of the way this is designed here, if you will call it that, it's sometimes hard if you go too wide, because then you get a lot of extra stuff that isn't helping the story either. So we're going to stop the camera rolling here for a little bit and see what we can find. So did you already do a scouting shot on the phone? Whoa, that's pretty cool. Very cool. One of the things that I wanted to mention that I find a really useful thing when I'm trying to compose pictures is this framing. This was a plastic cover from a notebook from Staples or Office Supply, something like that. And I cut out a frame that is the 2:3 ratio. And I use that a lot when I've stopped and think that there may be a composition there. It's an old technique, but it still works for me. So it's something you might want to consider, because you can, at least with the blue frame around it or a black cover, you can isolate some of what's outside of what you're seeing and see if there's potential there. It's kind of like looking through the viewfinder, but at that point you've already set up your shot. So this gives me ideas along the way. So for example, I may have found a composition right here that I like. And if I put the tool in front of it and I pull it back, I'll approximate what I just showed you in the video, and that gives me the starting point for my composition. It may change once I get set up with the camera, but I'm closer than I would be with just viewing it with my eyes. Have you experienced a problem when trying to just use your LCD outside? There's so much glare all the time. And even if I turn the brightness all the way up to a +2 on my LCD, it's still really tough, especially in the angles that we seem to get when we're photographing. You can see Jed's camera is angled extremely down, and even though he can tilt his LCD, it reflects off all of these light-colored rocks or the sky. So we have solutions. And you can see what Jed's doing right now. That's why he wears a black jacket, so he can use it as a dark cloth. Great idea, Jed. Is it helping?
Oh, big time. Come and take a look.
Well, if I do that, we won't be able to see.
Put the camera under here.
I'll try. Let's see. Well, don't let it down yet. I can't see what... Okay, you got it? Yeah, look, he can actually see what he's doing there. Okay? And if we took it away, that's the view.
Quite a difference.
Quite a difference. Well, we saw some people way up high above the wash. And when they came down, we started talking to them, and they said, oh, you definitely have to go up these rocks and check this out. And so we did. You can see the wash down below and cars for scale, and that's where we were. The fun of this is seeing Zion from a little higher perspective, and it's incredible. And a few minutes ago I said to Jed, you do realize that we're going to have to do this hike all over again in time for sunrise one morning. We may not get to it this year, but we're certainly going to come back and plan for this. Behind me, Jed is trying to coax a bighorn ram out to the edge of the rocks so he can get it on his long lens, because we are both also carrying our 2 to 600s, 180 to 600s, depending on the brand. So that made the climb a little extra effort, simply because we're carrying that weight. But oh my gosh. And right down below here where you see the rocks swirling, that is a waterfall when it's running. So we're gonna go check it out, but I think I might need 2 hands, so I'll meet you down there. Oh, not bad. I found a shorter way down. Always good. You have to really watch what you're doing here. So you get sand on your shoes and you go down these steep rocks and you slip. So we have done it. I have wanted to get up here for some time, but from the road I knew that without rock climbing gear you could not get up the dry fall. So I'm very excited that I am here right now. Look at these cool rocks. Just imagine the water swirling and just pouring over the top of this. You can see 2 ladies, very, very tiny ladies down there that we met. We watched them go up, and they went a little bit the hard way. So we showed them an easier way to go down, because that's the way we came up. And I see that there's some other people that have discovered this as well. Once one person is here, then it doesn't take much for people to figure out how to get up here. Whoa. Imagine this all with water rushing over it. I wouldn't want to be here, that's for sure, but definitely worth the climb today. Well, Jed is using his long lens, and we can actually see the ram now and then up there in that white saddle in the middle of the frame. He is moving. Maybe he'll go to the top and be a standout against the sky for Jed. That would be really awesome. Oh, the sun came out and it's pretty hot. So we're heading into the shade of this wash, this canyon, to see what we can find. Oh yeah, that's a pretty cool line. There's a nice, on the other side of that tree that's down, there's a nice big pool of water, and you can see hoof prints around it, as well as human prints around it, of course. I think I added mine to it, but wow. Oh, too bad somebody stepped in that, but that would have made a very cool pattern down there. This is magical up in here. Very cool. Well, we're heading back down now. We couldn't go any further in that wash and canyon where there was some pretty color. But you know what they say, you don't know until you go. And we're really glad we came up here. The next time, we'll come up here for sunrise, and we'll be traveling with lighter gear. So we ought to be able to make it without any problem, because it's definitely worth it. Our light is flattening out a lot now, so it's a good time to head back. We can see what we've got if I make it through the thicket. Why is it I never go back the same way I came up? Wow. Beautiful clouds. I may do a little bit of black and white here. There's just a hint of sun. I'd like a little bit more. So I'll set up and see what happens. All right, so now the fun begins, right? Since there's no marked trail, everybody that we've watched has gone down a different way than they've come up. And Some of them by the seat of their pants. Going up seems to be always easier for me than going down. How about you, Jed?
Well, we'll see.
Yeah. And my left foot currently has a sore toe, probably a nail too long. Kind of a neat what? Well, you need to turn around so I can hear you.
The root burrow thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. What do they say? Do not try this at home. Well, this is going to take some two-handed climbing, I believe. Stay tuned. I'm watching Jed. If he gets down safely, I'll use the same pattern. I heard that, Jed.
So we went on the other side of this.
Yes, because there was the deadly agave that could
Yeah.
have stabbed us. You're right. And a fitting end of our hike, you can see this family that was down there just looking at the trees, and lo and behold, look what came up the pathway to greet them. How cool is that?